This is Blaine White from Steam Hollow Brewing Company, and you're listening to This Freakin' Show.
What's up, everybody? I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome to another episode of This Freakin' Show. It is the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. The same weekly podcast that is brought to you every week by Audible.com. If you're just like me and you love stories, but not a big fan of reading them in particular, but you do like to hear them, check out Audible. All you gotta do is go to audibletrial.com/freaknet, and as a gift from us to you, you get a 30-day free trial of Audible. On top of that, you get some tokens, pick out some books and stuff, and give it a shot. For 30 days, you can try Audible for free as a gift from This Freakin' Show. All you gotta do is go to audibletrial.com/freaknet and sign up today.
So great. And if you want to look good while you listen to your new audiobooks, head on over to wearedappertise.com and get yourself a high-quality knit tie for just $15. And you'll even get free shipping on your order if you use the special discount code FREAKIN. That's FREAKIN. That's $15 with free shipping. Complete package, nice tie for just $15. WeAreDapperTies.com. Head on over, check them out, buy a tie, discount code FREAKIN today.
That's right. You know, and it's crazy, Joe. Like, I've never been much of a tie guy, but you know what? If I do wear a tie, it's gotta be from WeirdAdvertise.com.
Oh, for sure.
It's gotta be. Yeah. Real quick, before we dive into the show, we're just gonna kind of catch up, me and Joe and everything, because believe it or not, even though the shows have been coming out weekly, we've been really busy, especially with the holidays coming up. Joey's big move, my back and everything. We actually pre-recorded a bunch of shows and released them and everything, so we got a lot of catching up to do. But before we dive into what we've been up to and everything, I just want to give everyone a heads up. As you notice from this show and actually a few weeks ago, it's just me and Joey, and that's because Awkward Colin is no longer on the show.
Yeah.
He for you wrestling fans out there, Colin lost his smile, if you get the reference for that. For everyone who's not a wrestling fan, Colin came back after our hiatus and everything. He gave it a shot. He just really wasn't into it, so he said he's gonna step away. Now, he may come back. He's always welcome back, as we offered the invitation to him to come back. But for right now, he just felt like he had other things he had to do, and he just couldn't commit 100% to the show.
Which, honestly understandable. And, if he ever wants to come be a guest or whatever, tell us about a movie he's seen, he's, of course, welcome. But, it's going to be a different show without him. But, the point of the show is to have fun and do what makes you happy. And if it wasn't making him happy, glad he stepped away.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we may, I haven't decided if we're going to keep the awkward flicks. I think maybe we will. It just really depends. And, everything else is going to be kind of the same. We're still going to talk here every week. We're still going to do our freaking think-ins and everything. I obviously do our plugs, our Follow Your Star Wars at the end of the month. So I think we may go ahead and keep the awkward flicks, but I don't know. Maybe we'll keep it awkward flicks as a memory to him. Not that he's gone, just, gone, but not gone. So maybe we'll do that. We could alternate out if we've seen any cool movies or something. I could actually do an awkward flick at the end of the show here.
Ooh.
So I could actually put it in right now if I wanted to, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later because I do want to dive into a couple other things that are exciting and new in the show. If you guys haven't had a chance yet, check out last week's show, as that was Colin's last episode with us, actually, as we interviewed Kevin Godey, the creator of Comics Watching Comics, which was fun to catch up with him.
Yeah. It was great. I'm surprised by everything that he's got going on. It's amazing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the one thing I found weird, and it wasn't even like the interview with him, it was like when I was going back, creating the show notes and everything for the Podbean and trying to find the previous show he was on, because of our long hiatus, that we took over the past summer and fall and everything. His first interview was still season 3.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, even though it was a year ago, it was still season 3. So it's kind of weird when I was trying to like figure that out. I'm like, there's no way that's right, but it is true. But if you guys do follow us through Podbean and you check out the show notes or even Google Play or iTunes, all the show notes are there. We give you the details or we tell you what show he was on previously. I think it was season 3, episode 5. Don't quote me on that. Check out the show notes and listen to the original interview. This is more of a follow up on how everything is, but Comic Talking Comics is available on Amazon Prime right now. Another movie that's available on Amazon Prime right now is It Remains, which is a movie that is directed by a German director named Julian Block that I did an interview with a couple weeks ago as well. And that show came out 2 weeks ago, so make sure you check that out too. So really, this should be a weekend of Amazon Prime for you guys.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously last week I interviewed Kutsukami, which Joey, I'm sorry you couldn't make that show, but you had a big move. You moved north.
Yep. I'm back officially in the city. And I'm way up north, and it's weird, but it's nice. It's the commute, man. It is unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so nice. It's like 20 minutes to work for both of us, and it's just so much better than it was.
Yeah, I mean,
on that front,
compared to what, like the hour and a half that you kind of had.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, maybe an hour if you're lucky.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, like Sunday mornings it was 45 minutes, but
yeah,
that was it.
I gotta tell you, man, like, and I get it, the whole, like, you gotta go where the work is and everything, but I could not understand how people could live in the city with how traffic is and shit like that, man. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I hear you. The crazy thing is like, so Lady Science takes the public transportation, which on this side where we're at is fantastic. That's her commute in the morning is faster on the train than it is driving, and on the train it's 20 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's really great. And for me, because of the nature of my job, I don't have to be in, before rush hour. You know what I mean? And so if I wait just a little while, it's a really easy 20-minute drive from where I'm at to where my church is. And so there's almost no traffic. It's really fantastic. And because we're not going into and out of the city anymore, we're just going, a few blocks either way.
I got you, dude, and that's awesome. I know definitely the traveling and commuting you guys did for work was a burden, so I'm glad that got resolved. And the process is growing now. You guys have been there a couple weeks now, so congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
How was your 4th? Do you do anything exciting? You hear fireworks and or gunfire, whatever.
I actually did have a really cool 4th. I got to march in the neighborhood parade that my church is in.
Okay.
The one I serve for a job, and I actually got to give a brief address as a public official, which was weird. And I was actually on the same stage as the new mayor, Lori Lightfoot, and the our local congressman, Mike Quigley. Was also on the stage, and so it was kind of neat to be considered a public official. And then after the parade was over, and it was a really weird parade. I don't know how many parades you've ever been in. This is the only one I've ever been in that was one of my congregants described it as a free form improvised parade, and that is the best description I've ever heard. Because that's exactly what it was.
A free-form improvised parade.
Yeah, normally when you go to a parade, they say this is your spot, this is who you're behind.
Yeah.
When I got there, I found the person with the clipboard, and he said, "Well, the cars are there, and you've got to be behind the cars. So just wherever, just behind the cars."
So it's like a follow your star parade.
It really was.
There we go.
It really was. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. But it was great. It was really a lot of fun. And then they have a nice party for the neighborhood afterwards that we didn't get to stay long at because as we were getting ready to walk out the door, I had to close my sliding. I have a sliding door that goes out to the balcony. We have a balcony now, which is cool.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But it doesn't line up right on its track. And so you got to pick it up to close it. you know?
Yeah.
And when I went to pick it up, the handle snapped off, and I got a really nasty slice on one of my fingers. And so we went to the parade, we hung out with some people briefly at the picnic, and then we went to the immediate care and got my finger fixed.
It
And
was that bad you had to go to the immediate care, huh?
yeah, I mean, I could see it went deep enough that I could see the fat in my finger.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. But it healed pretty quick. I'm actually they put that special glue on it instead of a stitch, and it's almost completely healed already. It's only been like a week.
Oh,
So yeah, no, it was amazing. I am really impressed by how quickly it healed up. But weird day. It was a weird 4th. We didn't watch any fireworks or anything. But
gotcha.
yeah, how about you? How was your 4th? Oh, sorry, you got a question?
No, I was actually gonna say, believe it or not, I've had a pretty exciting and productive last 3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah. So fun fact, I don't normally go out and watch fireworks. When I usually do is when I'm in relationships and shit like that. But I've been having this weird habit of women like dumping me or rejecting me lately. So the concept of going to fireworks is whatever. But I was able to actually watch fireworks laying in my bed, staring through my office window.
Oh, legit.
Yeah, I don't know. First off, I don't know how legal it was because these were like legit like performance fucking fireworks. These weren't like bottle rockets and sparklers and shit. I mean, these were legit up in the air, exploding, sitting on a hill, watching shit fireworks. And I have no idea where they're being launched from, but the fact that I could lay in my bed, stare out my window, and see them was good enough for me. But the only problem was while that was going on, it was like 11 o'clock at night on 4th of July, which was a Thursday, but I had to work on Friday.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so my 4th of July, which granted it was fun. I got a chance to go over to my aunt and uncle's. I got to hang out with my cousin, Sean, who came in from Arizona. He's getting married in September. I'm officiating his ceremony because for $30 in the internet, you could pretty much do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I was setting up his service and stuff like that. I'm gonna put together their ceremony, which they're gonna try something different that I recommended to them. It's called a love note box ceremony, which they're gonna write little love notes to each other and seal them up and put them in the box, seal the box, and then I guess per the ceremony, you either open it up on like an anniversary or you open it up when you feel like your marriage is struggling and shit like that, and then you read the letters that your significant other wrote for you before the wedding.
Cute. I like
Yeah.
that.
So I'm excited to be doing that. So we talked about that for a little bit. My back is finally back to normal.
Ooh,
So yeah. So
congratulations on that.
28 days of sadness and pain. It was rough, but yeah, I finally got through that. So I'm feeling better. I feel almost myself again, probably about 95, 98% there. I'm gonna dive back into my dieting. I'm gonna start doing my yoga again. I'm gonna start writing these journal entries again because believe it or not, people still bitch at me for not writing these things constantly. Which I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that people care so much. I never really thought people really cared, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
So I'm excited to be diving into that. And actually, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about like how she wants to, she wants to do her own journey and all this other stuff, but she doesn't know how to do it. And every time she does, she fails and all this shit. And I kept telling her, like, like I'm here to help. Like, I love helping people. Like, I may not have all the answers, or I might not even have the best answers, but I want to be there for people to help people out when I can. And she said to me a bunch of people have told me this time and time again, which I never understood how people got this. But she told me I should write a book about it, about like how motivational I am and how I'm able to give advice and all this shit. And I really don't understand why people kept saying that because I mean, like I just speak and I just talk and I'm just honest and everything. But kind of
Mm-hmm.
clicked in my head like, why not try to write a book? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I could throw it on my bucket list. I could do it. I could throw it up on Amazon Prime. And if it doesn't work out, hey, at least I wrote a book.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to fucking write a book. I came up with the title, probably the
Yeah.
greatest fucking title in the world. Do you think I should share the title on the show?
If you want to.
I think the
I don't see
fans
why
will want to
not.
hear. Right? Okay. So this is the title. Are you ready? Because you're gonna hear this and you may wiggle just a little bit, Joe, because it's a pretty epic title and it's a
All
good
right.
it's a good novel title. You ready for this? You're
I'm
sitting
ready.
down, right? You're sitting
Uh-huh.
down.
Uh-huh.
You're not
Yep.
you're not holding anything in your hands. I don't want you to drop
Nope.
something.
No, you're good.
Okay. Title of the book: Swimming with Your Shirt Off.
Oh, nice. I
Right?
like that.
The-
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I kept thinking, I what can I write a book about? And the biggest thing I could think about is like, I live my life struggling with like obesity and being overweight and everything. Now, granted, yes, I'm still classified as obese. I'm still heavy set, fat, however people want to classify, my body structure as. It's fine. I know who I am. Um, but I'm not as big as I used to be. And when you can finally find that way of motivating yourself and getting yourself through it and everything, it's possible that you could start achieving dreams. And I think that's what I want the book to be about. And a lot of people, especially myself, other people I know, like one of their biggest struggles, especially being overweight, is going to beaches, going to water parks, going to pools and stuff, and being able to swim freely in, just a bathing suit. And I was like, well, shit, like people who have a hard time dealing with their weight or the way they look and everything, their self reflection, they tend to cover up more. And especially a friend of mine who said that she wants to be able to go to a beach without the worries of people staring at her and judging her, which I get where she's coming from. I don't see it, but at the same time, self reflection is a big thing for people. And people see themselves the way they think it is, regardless of what other people think. But I'm like, I think it's a perfect title. At first, like I'm thinking like, like maybe I'll call it like Swimming with Your Shirt On, accepting, who you are, blah, blah. But I'm like, fuck it, no. Swimming with Your Shirt Off. Conquering
Yeah.
obesity, and I can't remember the subtitle, but the main title's there.
I think the main title's great. That's
Right?
fantastic, and it references your story.
Yeah.
And I remember even some of your earlier blog posts talk about this. I think that's great. It's really relevant and good. I think it's fantastic, man.
Yeah, and I'm just the biggest thing is like because obviously I'm not an author or anything. Um, Whenever I do speak, or I give advice and everything, it's just very like straightforward, it's blunt. It's basically and it's so random, it's just based on the conversation. But I think I'm gonna focus this more on some of my stories I've had from dealing with obesity, and being bullied and stuff like that. And the things that maybe prevented me from, finding happiness or finding, progressing and shit. And I think maybe it'll be a good motivation for other people. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, how can I write this book? I mean, obviously, because you got to get it published and all this stuff. But apparently, you get it published through Amazon Prime, and it really doesn't cost anything.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so
Self-publishing is very cheap.
yeah. So I definitely need someone to help me write a book because I can't articulate shit. So that's where you come in, Joe.
I disagree. I think you are really good at articulating things. I've read your blog. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think I could turn it into like like story form, like and like book form and stuff like that.
Mm.
I mean, I could easily write like a journal entry talking about how like I failed at my diet today, but I could overcome it for this and all and everything like that. But to get from like chapter to chapter to chapter to chapter and stuff like that, and actually writing out a book, I'm gonna need some help. And who better to help me than somebody with a degree who knows how to speak, especially the guy who is also Freak Joe, who could read literature like the Dickens.
That is true. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm happy to help. What are your questions? What are you lost with? I guess is the
I just want to make sure like somebody's there to kind of like even if you're just there to kind of guide me through it. I just want to make sure that I'm writing something and it doesn't turn into like a ramble. I'm
mm,
just trying like my biggest thing is like I feel like I'm just gonna try to fill pages and not like keep the point or maybe like I'm like filling it out and you reading like well why don't you try putting a little more detail in here and that's the stuff I need
oh
because
yeah. So you need an editor.
sure, yeah. I guess that's more accurate. Yeah. I just need more
Yeah.
of an editor and maybe someone to like bounce ideas off of like, hey, what if I tell this story? What if I tell this story? Or try to find that balance between telling backstories and motivating people to, stuff like that. Like I just don't know like the best way to write a book like that. Because I had an idea for another book, which was what's a fake book? Fiction?
Yeah. Fiction.
Fiction. I had an idea to write a fiction book of short stories, scary stories, kind of like a scary story to tell in the dark, but something
Hmm.
else. I was going to call it Freaky Tales.
Ooh, nice.
So I also want to write something like that, which that is so much easier to write than trying to write a. And I don't know if this would be considered like an autobiography or anything because I'm not really telling like my story. I'm just telling stories of my life to prove a point that you could overcome shit. So I don't know what kind of category that
Gotcha.
would fall into.
Yeah,
Um,
well, it'd probably be probably autobiographical / self-help.
yeah, and I just need somebody who has more of a knowledge of books in my life to help me out. Now, granted, yeah, I've accumulated some knowledge of literature thanks to audibletrial.com/freaknet, where it gave me a 30-day free trial plus an additional token to get a book of my choice. So that has helped me,
Nice.
right? Uh,
Yeah,
I just need somebody whose life is books,
gotcha.
such as you, to kind of
Yeah.
help me get through that.
Yeah, I think just briefly, and this is for anybody who I think wants to do something like this. I think the first thing you want to do is set up sort of an outline, like where are you starting and where do you want to get to, and then sort of break it down into the steps in between. Like I think your blog posts are fantastic, but they are pretty short, and
Yeah.
so I hear what you're saying about chapters need to be a little bit longer than your blog posts usually
Mhm.
are. Um, and so what you could maybe do is write, there's no real page length that is required for a chapter in a book. I think if you shot for, I don't know how many pages you want to go for the whole thing, but if you wanted to do blog posts, you could collect those and intersperse them,
Okay.
put them in various places, and then you could write 5 to 10 page chapters, just on whatever subject, being bullied. You could talk about what bullying was like for you, what the experience was like, why you're opposed to bullying, that sort of stuff. You could talk about what made you finally decide to embark on the journey that you're on, and you could talk about what is your actual goal, not just in terms of weight loss, but like in terms of, I assume, self-esteem and things like that, and you could just work it through and figure out like, okay, this was my step-by-step process that
Yeah.
has worked for me up to this point, and then say, take it with a grain of salt, but this is what I did.
Mhm.
And then each chapter would be basically a step in the process.
Yeah, and I think that's where I think like if I where my mindset is right now, it's like I want to start with it's about elementary schools where I started kind of like realizing the obese thing, like around fifth grade. And I want to start at that point because everything before that, I really don't remember ever having an issue with weight or being fat or anything like that. But it's like around like fourth or fifth grade where I started like remembering it. And I want to go all the way up until I lost my first excuse me, my first 50 pounds after being on the keto diet, which,
Right.
I mean, I ended up at 445 before I even started the diet. I mean, and there's other stories I could put in there, like not wanting to be on the skins team of the shirts for skins in basketball,
Mm-hmm.
um, not being able to play, junior devils because, I was 12 years old and I weighed too much.
Mm.
I could talk about when Uncle Kevin and I try to make a bet on me losing weight and stuff like that as a motivational thing. Like it's nothing. I don't want to apply that. You know, it was a negative thing what he did. He just we tried to have this bet where if I lost X amount of weight, I was gonna get this much money and stuff like that, which was a good
Mm.
motivational thing. It's just my mindset wasn't there to achieve that.
For
Um,
sure.
and yeah, like not fitting in rides at Six Flags Great America, how that made me feel. And just shit like that. So I know I have the stories to fill the book.
Oh, for
I just
sure.
I just don't know like I don't want to create chapters and ramble on to feel like I need to fill pages. I guess so an editor is what I really need. And then that's why I need you, Joe. I need
Yeah, I love it. I'm about it,
you,
man.
bro. So and then maybe down the line you and I will write Freaky Tales, the short story of spooky stories.
I would love to do that. I think that sounds
Right?
like a lot of fun.
Right? And it'll be so easy. I mean, like shit. I mean, all you gotta do is look at scary stories to tell in the dark. And instead of that, we'll just create our own stories. Like we could write a spooky story about the viaduct.
Oh yeah.
Right? God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I just talked about that story a couple weeks ago when I was on the podcast with Mandy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Scared the hell out of me. I also told her about the ghost girl at my well, when you guys were younger and you stayed over at the house and everything, did you ever see a ghost girl around the house?
I don't remember seeing one. No.
No. Because I know me, my ex-girlfriend Jenna, and then Sherry all witnessed a little girl roaming our house at one point or another, different years and time frames and shit like that. I
Hmm.
didn't know if maybe anyone else did because obviously Mama Carl said he never did. Nick said he never did. Ashley thinks she might have, but wasn't really sure if she was awake or not. And I mean, the only other people who were there more often than not, were you, Houston, and Michael. So I didn't know if maybe you guys noticed something or whatnot, but
Right. I didn't, but that doesn't mean they didn't. Houston might have. If I had to pick one of us who would corroborate, it'd be him.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll look at that. Maybe we'll look more towards the fall and doing some well, because obviously we got this freaky show coming in October.
Mm-hmm.
We got the
Mm-hmm.
freak show coming back. Maybe we'll make up some short stories and stuff because we do take the submissions when we get them, or we find some scary stories to record to read on the show. So maybe we'll create our
Mm-hmm.
own stories and we'll just pop them out there and see what happens. Because short story, I mean, a book of short scary stories. I mean, that don't take long at all. Just
No, not at all.
right. So that's something we could definitely look into doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, swimming with your shirt off is going to be a novel by Travesty coming soon,
I
maybe.
dig it.
Yeah,
I dig it.
I
I'm
don't know
looking
how long
forward
it's
to
gonna
it.
take, but it's gonna happen. We're gonna bucket list that shit.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Now what else I got going on nowadays? Geez, just freaking wrestling's growing big. We picked up a couple more wrestling companies that are working with us. I got in a Facebook war with a local wrestler.
Ooh.
Yeah, I told him that I told him that he lacks intensity, and apparently he wasn't happy with that. So we're gonna do an in-person interview here in the next month or so, where hopefully he apologizes because I deserve an apology.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so I'm excited for that. Patreon, we added a new tier to our Patreon, so we're gonna start doing some additional content podcasts for the JFW. So I'm excited for that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Trying to come up with more shirt designs and everything for the Freaknet store, which Joe, we still got to come up with your
I
shirt
know.
idea,
I gotta
bro.
figure out what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I was thinking something like book related. I just don't know.
Mm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
really don't know yet. We really gotta get the fit. We really gotta get that Geek Cash Joe shirt out there. Cartoon Joe
With you.
shirt. Shit.
Cartoon Joe. I'm with you.
Cartoon Joe shirt out there. Fuck yeah. But hey, let me try this awkward flicks segment. See if I can do it.
Yeah, sure.
Ugh. All right, so I watched Ghostbusters, the original one, for the first time.
Yep.
If you guys don't know what it is, then you're just like me and found no interest in it.
It.
But anyways,
I will say it shocks me that you've just now seen it for the first time.
yeah, I watched both of them. I know so much about them. I thought there were 3 original ones, but there's not. There's only 2.
Wild.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, it's Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, some other dude, and some other guy. I can't remember their names, but they're scientists. They check the paranormal. All of a sudden, ghosts start showing up. They start fighting them and stuff. At the end, they had this big, horrible '80s production like fight scene at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a cute little phrase at the end where the guy says, "If somebody asks you if you're a god, just say yes," or something like that. So, I mean, it was okay. It was okay for an 80s movie. I think my biggest problem and downfall with the movie is that I watched it way too late in life. And after all the, high definition and the quality that's put in the movies nowadays, I think the production really kind of messed with me and like trying to look at it as like a valued piece of movie. Um, what the hell's the term?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I
History.
got
Or
yeah, something like that. That's close enough. I mean it was better than Princess Brides, so I will give it that. But if I was to give it a rank out of 5 awkwards, I'd give it like a 2. if that.
Crazy.
I did like the acting. I'm not gonna lie, the acting was pretty good. I think it was just the quality that maybe it's just like it was too late for me to catch an 80s sci-fi-ish kind of theme movie like that. And I just hated the ending. It was very anticlimactic.
Hmm.
I mean, the ending lasted all of like 5 minutes. Like they got to the roof, they got blasted away. They're like, we need to touch the tips, and then they touched the tips, and it fucking worked. I mean, really, it was predictable as fuck. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. So
Huh.
maybe a 4 out of 10 if that makes people feel better. But
That for whatever reason does make me feel better, but it is just the same. But
well,
weird.
what would you give it out of 5, Joe? Would you give it a 5 out of 5 or
No, I'd give it a 4 out of 5 though.
a 4? What now? Why would you not give it a 5 out of 5?
Well, because I do agree that it's not a perfect movie. I think like there's weird stuff in it, like Dan Aykroyd. He wrote a scene where a ghost gives him a blowjob, and that's weird. It doesn't. If you take that scene out of the movie doesn't change. It's literally just there because Dan Aykroyd like thought it'd be funny if he crossed his eyes, you know,
It reminds me
because
a
that was
lot
like
of
his thing.
yeah, it reminds me a lot of Scary Movie 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually I really like the movie. I just it's I think the movie that most introduced me to Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and sort of that whole troupe of comedy. Um and I just like it. I don't know. I liked the animated series. I was really into Ghostbusters for a while, but I
Mhm.
also think I hit it at the right time too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe like, if I watched a movie like maybe like 20 years ago or 15 years ago before everything became Blu-ray and HD and ultraviolet and all this other shit, and I
Oh yeah,
watched
that
more.
makes a huge difference too.
Yeah, I mean, and the graphics and all that stuff. Like, if I watched more '80s movies outside of like The Breakfast Club and Sweet 16 and shit like that,
Yeah.
I'd probably like find more fascination into it. But that's the same thing. Like, I'm not a movie buff where like I have to look at shit like cult classics. Like the concept of a cult classic to me sounds dumb. I don't understand the concept of people saying shit like that, like especially with The Princess Bride, which if I was to give that thing, it'd be like a 0.5 out of 5 because it sucked.
Hurts me.
I
Hurts
just
me. What a
it's
great
just
movie.
I don't know why it's good though. That's the thing. Like
I like how quotable it is. I like the fact that it's a story within a story. Uh, I don't know. It's just it's fun. I just think it's a fun
yeah,
movie. But
yeah, Joey, we're gonna have a show. Maybe we'll do it next week. I'm gonna make a list of movies that I find are ridiculous, and you tell me why people like them.
all right, I can try that. I can try to do that.
Because I think I know a good. I think I have a good handful of movies that I know you like that I cannot fucking stand, and I just want you to justify them for me.
Yeah,
I need.
I'd be happy to. I think that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
And then maybe we'll do a list. Maybe we'll create our own cult classic lists and stuff like that and see how that goes.
Sure.
But hey, Spider-Man had a good turnout.
Did it? Oh yeah, it broke world record. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So congrats to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Still kicking it even after the end of end games and shit like that. Um
Yeah.
I haven't checked the end games with the new re-release happen. Did it break Avatar yet?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't think so. But let's see. Let's see. Game box office. The wild thing to me is like, how do you have Endgame re-released 4 days before Spider-Man comes out?
I
It's
did.
just dumb, bad planning.
I think they really just wanted to break Avatar regardless of what everything else is.
Well, and Avatar had a re-release too, so it's not like but
Uh,
it's still just over $15 million away from Avatar's box
yeah,
office.
15.5. So they can do it. We'll see. We'll see. But Joe, what
I
you
don't know how. I don't know how. Oh, what am
what's
I
that?
freaking on?
Yeah,
I was just,
no. Stop, Joe. Stop, Joe. Stop, Joe. Stop, Joe. It's not what you're freaking on anymore.
mm-hmm.
I just want to know what you're freaking thinking.
I am freaking thinking.
There we go. Come on now, man. Come
Uh,
on. Shit.
I gotta shift gears because I was gonna say I don't know how Disney's gonna. I don't know how they think Endgame's gonna make. Don't they know what the economy's like? Like people don't have extra money. And Spider-Man and Toy Story 4 came out like within a week of each other, and Endgame. Like I just and the Endgame re-release. Like it's too much.
It's messed up when Disney has to fight Disney to come on top.
Yeah, it's so weird, and I think that is actually what I'm looking forward. Those are I need to go see Endgame again because I haven't taken Lady Science to see it. We haven't had a good chance, so I'm glad it was re-released so that we could go see it. I need to see Spider-Man. I need to see Toy Story 4 just for the animation. I've heard it's so good, and then I'm looking forward to seeing Midsummer, which is a horror movie that just came out that takes place in Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, and it takes place entirely during the day, which makes it even creepier somehow, from what I've heard. Because most scary movies they take place at night, and so it makes nighttime scary. But this like cranks it up a whole other level because it makes daytime scary. So I'm excited about that.
Is that the movie where like this kid brings like these group of friends to this festival or some shit?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I saw previews for it. It actually didn't look that bad.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. So I'm thinking about seeing at least 2 movies tomorrow. We'll see. But I like to go on. We record listeners on Mondays usually, and Tuesdays, of course, are almost always $5 now if you find the right theater. So I like to go see movies on Tuesdays. But yeah, what about you? What are you freaking thinking?
Oh, is that what you're freaking thinking about? The movies?
Yeah,
Oh, I like how you blended it in there to finish up your statement, but also get your freaking thinking in there. I like that. I do like that. Um, this weekend I got a golf outing I'm doing with Carl, my uncle Andy, brother-in-law Alan. We're doing a golf outing out in Beecher for I can't remember what the cause is, but Game On Bar in here in town is putting it on. So we're doing a foursome golf outing this weekend. So I'm really excited to. It's gonna be my first time golfing in a year. And yeah, I think we're supposed to have some nice weather and stuff like that. I believe it's on a Sunday, so it's like an all day thing. There's gonna be food at Game On afterwards, and then they're gonna do goofy games throughout the golf course, like apple pie shots, or you have to substitute your golf ball for a marshmallow and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for
nice.
it. Yeah. So
Nice.
like I said, like it's been a while since I've gone out golfing. It was supposed to be Alan, me, Nick, and Carl, but Nick couldn't make it. I think he has to work, so we're able to get my uncle Andy to come in and everything. And honestly, Alan's probably the best golfer of all of us. The rest of us, like, either haven't golfed in 3 years or play like we haven't golfed in 3 years. So, but luckily, it's best ball. So we just gotta go to wherever Alan hits his ball.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
that's what I'm really excited about. And then obviously everything with the podcast that are growing. The fact that I'm getting back into my dieting, back into my yoga, back into my journal entries and stuff like that. Um, I'm just happy to be turning my life around. Like I don't know what it is with me and like the month of June that it seems to be so bad, but usually July kind of kicks off well. And
Nice.
yeah, so I'm definitely excited to Beach Bod 2020. So we'll see how it goes.
Sweet.
Yeah. But hey, Joe,
Yeah.
every week our listeners could catch Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show. But if 45 minutes to about an hour of Cartoon Joe just isn't enough every week, where can our listeners go to get more Cartoon Joe?
Well, I tell you, if you need more Cartoon Joe than you'd get out of an hour of prime television, you can head on over to the Geekcast Live podcast at gcl.ninja. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Google Play, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Nice. Again, we want to thank audible.com for being a sponsor of a show. If you want a 30-day free trial of Audible, just go to audibletrial.com/freaknet. Get 30 days free, plus get a token to get a book of your choice so you can try it out for the first 30 days. Also, we want to thank weareadvertise.com. Just use the promo code Freakin at checkout to buy your $15 high quality knit tie to come with free shipping. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at This Freaking Show. And tell your friends they can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Spotify, What the fuck? Where are we at? We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
God,
Everywhere where you cast pod.
Right? I was such on a roll there. Tell your friends you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, Player FM, just by searching This Freakin' Show. Make sure you go to tpublic.com, TEPUBLIC.com, search TFS to get your merchandise today. And as always, I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freakin' Show. I'm out.